So I was thinking complimenting women, right? And the only reason why is because I saw this girl sitting outside last night, and I was talking to her. And I've seen her like a couple times, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go outside. Because I've tried to approach her twice. She's like really shy, so I was like, okay. So I finally found her outside, walked out, and I was just like, oh hey, what's up? How's your night going? Started talking, dude. I gave her a compliment. Wow, you know, give her like, I gave her a compliment.
What'd you say?
I was like, I like that shirt on you. Because she was wearing like a really see-through shirt. Like the only thing that was like actually covering herself was the only thing that was actually covering herself was her bra. So I was just like, oh, I like your shirt. She's like, thanks. And then we started talking, and then it just opened up. She like opened up completely, just like blah 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 blah. And she just filled. The conversation went on. Talking. At the end, I just closed. That's her number. I was like, hey, we should hang out. Cool. She gave me her number. And I was thinking, okay, so if I would have done that, if I would have just been like, nah, whatever, I'm just gonna chill. Nothing. I would have went empty-handed. I would have not had a number. I would have not be able to like actually get to know somebody, talk to a girl, and just chill, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this might go to a date too. Maybe not. We'll see. But still.
So you're saying that because you complimented her, everything opened up really well.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think would have happened if you would have gone a little bit more indirect?
I think it would have went the same way, to be honest. So like, my game is just, oh hey, like I like to compliment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that you should at least give one compliment to a girl.
Okay.
Not overdo it.
I mean, obviously that, you know, people like to feel good, right?
Yeah, like, oh, that dress looks great on you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Something like that, you know, something, compliment about their shirt or something.
Right.
Whatever. That, like, that's just like not an opener, but it's just the first step to be like, oh, by the way, blah, blah. Something. And then you can talk, you know. Especially if you try to like, especially if there's someone that's like random. You see somebody really hot in the street or in the gas station, you want to talk?
Mm.
Oh, by the way, you're really stunning. Oh, thanks. Or
What'd you say?
Oh, you're really stunning.
Stunning?
Stunning.
Yeah.
I was like, God, you're stunning. She's like, oh my God, by the way, and then just, you know, talk. Like the worst thing she can say is, oh, thank you, and then just ignore you.
Right.
Like, you know, you're not gonna go to jail, so they're gonna call the cops. Oh my God, this guy's like trying to like harass me. But like, if you take like the first step, there's possibilities, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like you never know. There might be a possibility.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like, how we teach in boot camp, there's, you know, more direct and more indirect ways of doing things. And generally, the direct approach, in a day game at least, has a much higher percentage chance of working. But a night game, indirect is generally better because, well, for a variety of reasons. Let's grab some food to go, and then we'll talk about this outside.
Cool.
So the problem is that typically in pickup, when you compliment a woman too much, she's going to, if you express interest too early, she's going to put you in the category of, you know, guys that give her compliments, and then you lose all the power in the interaction. That's like the general feeling of it. But what we found in day game is that giving a direct compliment is generally a really powerful thing to do, as long as you do it like hips forward, eye contact, everything, so that she has to address you, right? That's great. In the night game, it's a little bit different because she's getting sort of overstimulated by the environment. She's getting overstimulated by other guys who are giving her a bunch of compliments already because they have the courage because they're drunk, right? So you're saying that your game is to always make somebody feel good. So, I mean, the good parts of that are what? Like, obviously, you're giving good vibes, giving good energy, making people feel good about themselves. They want to be around you, right? They also want to reciprocate because of Cialdini's law of reciprocity. But in the bad ways, you might, by showing your interest too early, create a situation where you no longer have any of the power in the dynamic.
So I know where you're coming from, but honestly, like when you give a compliment, man, like it has to be like genuine, right? And just give one in the beginning. Like don't be fucking complimenting her the whole night. It's dumb.
Okay.
You know? Like when you open your that dress looks great on you. Wow, you're stunning. What's your name? Or just in the beginning, you know, just let her feel like, oh my god, thanks. The problem that usually guys have is like they give one compliment, talk. They give another compliment, and I'm like, that was just so like off. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then she's gonna be like, oh, he wants me.
Mhm.
And it's just a human like for girls, this is their nature, man. Like if you show too much interest, it's not a fight for them, you know. Like there's no point. They already have you. They can like string you along. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you give one compliment,
That old
thank you.
cat string theory thing. Yeah.
Because like nowadays nobody gives fucking compliments. Like guys do not give compliments.
Right. They're trying to act too cool.
Yeah. Nobody
James Bond in the club.
Like nobody gives compliments anymore because it's like, oh well, if I give you a compliment, you're just gonna take me like the other guys. And it's like no, like give a compliment, talk to her, get to know her. But don't fucking, you know, just don't show too much interest in the beginning. Like do when you're actually gaming her. Like the point is, you open her, you give a compliment, and then you start getting to know her, and like eventually you're just gonna close and ask for a number. That's the whole point of this. It just opens doors, you know. It's like, oh hey, it's a possibility to a date too. It's a possibility for her to give you their number. Or it's a possibility for her to like. It's a possibility for her to like, I don't know, get to know more people.
Right.
And like you don't really have to like I don't go in the mindset of like getting her. I literally just do it just to fucking do it because I don't give a shit.
Right.
Hey, like you're stunning. What's your name? And like if she doesn't give me her number or she just walks away, cool. I'm gonna do this to another girl. Eventually, one's gonna give me her number and stuff like that. It's a numbers game, man. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's plenty of ways that we can make it a little bit more effective.
Yeah.
Ways that you can create more authenticity, and you know, some pitfalls for compliments that we can cover. I mean, I've got 3 or 4 different things I got to say about all that stuff. But I mean, as far as the reasoning's concerned, Mr. used to talk about this. It was called cat string theory, right? He said if you had like a piece of yarn and you're in front of a cat doing this thing. The cat's super interested in it, it's stimulating, and like will play with it and bat at it, right? And he wants to get it, and just chases. He'll jump up in the air, flip upside down, try to get it. But if you drop it on the floor in front of the cat, and once it's not moving anymore, loses interest and just walks off.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, you hear the old adage, it's like, you know, women want what they can't have, or people want what they can't have, and that's not necessarily true. It's just that so much of the drama and so much of the stimulating part of the relationship is it's in those moments of like conflict and resolution and like tension and release and all that stuff. And without those moments, the whole interaction just sucks. It's like super boring. So it's less that you have to play hard to get, so to speak, and more that you have to continue to be stimulating, but stimulating on an emotional level. And by emotional, I mean like doing this kind of like ups and downs and like and whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when guys are doing the compliment, it's basically taking the whole thing up, or if you're looking at like a seesaw, right? It puts all the weight on one side, right? But the whole point of that thing is to go back and forth, right? And if you put too many compliments on one side and there's no release on that, then it just you're both sitting there trying to have fun, but nobody's having fun, right? So I think you're right. I think that once you get in there, giving a compliment is a great way to get an emotional spike, but you have to have other tools in the arsenal in order to make the interaction go smoothly.
No, yeah. That's definitely that. You know, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that just give the fucking compliment.
Right, just do it.
Just do it.
Right.
You know, and then obviously you're gonna have your game where you're just gonna be, you know, you're gonna gamer like your mid conversation and your closer. You already know what to do. You know.
Right.
Like you're not gonna give her compliments every 4 or 5 seconds because there's no point. Like you said, it's just off. But the whole point of this is just so you can actually get that emotional spike. Oh my God, thank you. And it's just more like, oh, I'm happy, thanks. That was actually really nice from you. By the way, blah blah. And then.
Oh yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So yeah, the problems of making a woman feel like too complimented or have too much power in the interaction isn't really a problem in your opinion, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, it's like what's wrong with making people feel good about themselves?
Totally nothing wrong. That's the thing, though. A lot of people, like, because guys, and we think, like, if we give a compliment to a girl, we literally put in the friend zone, or our value just goes to shit. You know? Like, we're like the nice gay guy, that we're like, oh my God, let's do something. And, like, it's not really that, man. Like, all you have to do is literally just give a compliment and talk to her. And then from there, if you see if it goes anywhere, then fucking close and get the number.
Yeah.
Simple. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So what's the whole point for it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, first off, there's nothing wrong with making people feel good about yourself. And generally, like, there's nothing wrong with the friend zone, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with having a bunch of really hot female friends in your life because you're cool as fuck, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, when you get attached to somebody very specific, let's do something longer video later on friend zone in general, but like, there's nothing wrong with giving your power away in the dynamic if you have extra to give in the first place. Like, a lot of people are trying to, if they view a woman up here like this, and then they're down here like this, they're trying to, like, up their value to get equal level, and what happens is they'll give away, they'll fight to get up here in their own mind, and then if they give away any power, they're back down here again, right?
That's the thing.
But, like, with us, and, like, anybody who's gone through this journey a little bit, it's like you realize that women are just people, and they speak sometimes different languages than we do, and sometimes they're exactly the fucking same with the same human needs and desires, right? So we're already starting from here, and then to give your power away or whatever, to give compliments or whatever, it's just like two equal people doting on each other, right?
Yeah.
I think the second problem is sometimes the compliments are inauthentic because they're not genuine.
Yeah.
Because guys will say them just to get in with a woman, like, oh, you're very pretty, and she knows that if she says, oh, thank you, then he's like, so where are you from, blah blah blah, and he'll just launch.
Yeah, it's just like that's like fucking only do it if you really mean it, man. Like, just be like, hey, you're really cute, thank you. Oh, hey, what? It's like, dude, too try hard, bro. Like, no, man. Only give the compliment if you really mean it, and like, it's gonna come out. Oh, thanks. Like, it's genuine, She's gonna sense that. And plus, she's gonna sense that she's safe around you too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just don't be honest about it. If she's ugly, be like, bitch, you ugly. No.
Yeah. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, guys will be like, oh, you're very pretty. I just wanted to tell you that. It's like, yeah, great. You're authority on women's beauty. Anyways, like, shut the fuck up, right? But like, if you deliver it, it's just like, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be smooth. Hey, by the way, I see this shit all the time. Guys are like, by the way, you're really gorgeous. Like it was an offhanded comment that you had forgotten to mention earlier. Like, when you saw her earlier, you did not have that immediately pop into your mind because it's like an evolutionary, like, biological trigger before your logical brain works. That sexual attraction is there, and she knows it, and you know it, and for you to act like it's not a thing, like, oh, I didn't notice you over there, but now that you're in front of me, you're pretty hot. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the first thing you notice, and then after the fact, you see if she's smart or intelligent or able to deal with her friends or socially aware or whatever, right? You don't notice the. She's got real social acuity. Oh my God, I didn't even notice she was hot too. Like fuck off. So it comes off super disingenuous, and then the rest of the interaction, she can sort of extrapolate, like, okay, he's going to be hiding something or trying to get something from me. What's his agenda? What's going on? For the rest of the interaction, like, women aren't stupid. Like it's not like, you know what? I'm gonna put this box and the stick, and she's gonna go in and grab the food, and bam! Like, it's like, no.
Yeah.
No. She's more socially attuned than you are, probably. And so first, yeah, if you're gonna give a compliment, make sure it's genuine. Make sure it's authentic. Right?
Yeah.
You gotta, to do that, obviously you can observe something about her, right? You can observe something about what's going on or whatever, and give it authentically. If you can't give it authentically, don't give it at all. Be like, hey, you're very pretty, and she's not. She can sense that you don't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. And then, once you realize that you're kind of lying, then she's going to wonder, what else is he lying about? What's his real agenda? What's he trying to get at? And it's going to be occupying her brain, and it's going to rob you of an actual present interaction.
True.
Third, when giving a compliment, there are levels of intensity. And by intensity, I'm talking about sexualization. Like, showing interest in a romantic or sexual way, right? Because you can, like, a 60-year-old guy can roll up to a 15-year-old girl and be like, oh, you're very beautiful, sweetie, like, right? And not mean it in an interest-bearing, like, sexual way, right? And it's a compliment, sure. You know, you're very pretty. Like, I'll tell a fucking 50-year-old woman that, oh, man, you're gorgeous, right? But she knows that I'm not trying to, like, dick her down right away, you know what I'm saying? Although she doesn't really know, you know what I'm saying? That might be my thing. But she knows that that's not really the deal. You want to let the woman that is going to be your object of desire, your sexual interest, know that you are sexually interested. You're not just like some random guy passing out compliments to random girls, right? You came up and do something direct, right? Then do it direct. Like in your example earlier, you were talking about, oh yeah, you complimented her shirt, and then you rolled into the rest of the interaction. It opened up. She still, you know, thought you were awesome, whatever. Great. But that's more indirect, right? It's not showing, you know, direct intent right away, even though you calibrated right on the way in and handled that shit, right? In the daytime especially, you want to go super direct. You want to go, you comment something on her looks, on the way her body moves, on something that can really be interpreted. Hey, look, I'm over here because you're hot. Because that's like straight honest, straight authentic, and it sets the stage. As soon as she realizes that you're there for a sexual interest, she may say thank you and bounce because she's not interested. She doesn't. When she thinks like she didn't like you, she's got a boyfriend, she's got a husband, whatever. She can exit gracefully, and she can still take the compliment and feel good about herself. But if you come in more indirect, she might be like, oh, thank you. I have this whole conversation, and then later on be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't know that was what you're here for, and now that I know that, I have to bounce because my husband will literally kill you. So when we're talking about varying levels of intensity, we're talking about whether it shows interest sexually or romantically or not, right? If you say something like, hey, you're really pretty, and you're right here, and you don't have the hard eye contact, it's down here. But if you're like, you are fucking sexy as hell, it's way up here, right? And showing interest. And there's a balance. You got to strike and calibrate depending on your location, depending on you know what you're doing, what the other environment is. Like and there's a balance that you have to calibrate depending on your location, depending on your environment, depending on the people around. Like, you're not going to go say, you know, I'm trying to fuck you, girl. Damn. You know, in church. Maybe you would. I don't know.
Maybe not. We'll see.
But yeah, so you can adjust varying levels of intensity for the directness when you approach, because you know, not all sexual interest is valid in every case. That's something you're going to have to evaluate on a case-by-case basis. What I don't want you to do is, I see guys make up general arbitrary rules about when you should say something. How you say, oh no, she's a long-haired blonde, she looks really conservative, she wouldn't like that. It's like, okay, well,
So you're making
you have no fucking clue what you're talking about, right? These things have to be calibrated in the moment against the situation at hand, and you can only do that with practice. There's no general rules on like how sexual you can get with which kind of girl in which locale. It just doesn't exist, right? Like, you have to try this stuff and get a feel for it, and get a lot of reps in order to do it well, right? Even if you did an arbitrary rule, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do it well in all cases because the situation would change, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, man, like, if you wanna, like, if you're showing interest, like that graph that you did, like, you know, where you kind of want to be like in the middle when you first meet her, you know?
Yeah.
If the compliment goes up, but like, be genuine, look her in the eye, like you said, and just be like, hey, you are fucking stunning. She's like, oh, thank you. Instantly, she's gonna know, well, hey, this guy really, you know, this guy likes me. But she's not gonna classify you as like the, oh no, like I'm just gonna throw you on a friends list because you just give me a fucking compliment.
Right.
You know? But I think we're really off when it comes to like, what am I saying?
I don't know, man.
I think some guys get like really off when they try to like give a compliment because like in their mind they already have that, I need to get this girl, like
right.
I need to fuck this girl, like this girl, I want this girl. So
like being
so I'm gonna say something just so she knows that I like her, and then I'm gonna keep like bombarding her with like a bunch of shit, and it's just like, it just comes off like really weird and like I don't know, like not genuine enough that you can actually just have a pleasant conversation with her. Because like if she's talking, okay, so if she's talking to you and decides to stay there, that's okay. That's one way to tell, okay, maybe she likes me, cool. If she keeps giving you hints, you know, she's actually contributing with the conversation, that's a second step that you can be, okay, this is going good.
Right.
But like you need to learn how to read that first, you know, before even dive in that kind of stuff. Because like, if you're just gonna give the compliment and expect that she like gonna give herself to you, like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Like, hey, you're really gorgeous. Oh, really? Let me suck your dick.
Yeah, like what? Like, no. Like, you have to put in the work, you know. So just put in the work, man.
Yeah. Another thing is, a lot of guys. I think the fourth thing, a lot of guys will try to do the compliment thing, and then once it's working, they get a positive result. Like you were talking about, they're already outcome dependent, right? They're like, they saw the end.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, there's the end. She took a step with me. Now let's take more steps like that, right? We do the same thing over and over and over again, and that gets boring. Like we were talking about the seesaw earlier. Like nobody's going anywhere. She's sitting, you're sitting, whatever, because you're overweighting here like this, right? Once you give the compliment in the beginning, I'm not saying don't give another one. I'm not saying don't give another one later in the night. What I'm saying is that particular thing, you're going to get a positive. Oh my God, thank you. She's going to get very emotional about it real fast. It's going to spike. Well, when that spike happens, you don't want to hit that spike again. You want to do something else. You want to be a little edgy. You want to play some games. You want to be funny. You want to create other emotional spikes of different types and breadth so that you give a whole range of emotion when you're talking. And that is going to carry that interaction much further and give you a lot more depth and variety than just complimenting and asking questions, which is what most guys do. They're like, you're very pretty, girl, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, okay, so what do you do? Where are you from? What kind of sisters you got? Where do your friends hang out? Oh, that's cool, cool, cool. Oh, you're a nerd, sweet, awesome, cool, 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 right? And she drops into this mode where there's no emotional stimulation up or down, and the initial hit that you got from the compliment giving, no matter how direct it was, wasn't necessarily, it was dissipated by the rest of your energy. So this goes into a lot longer conversation about buying temperature, about emotional spikes, about emotional breadth, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more advanced topic. But what we're saying is, when you're talking about compliments, most guys don't want to give them because they don't want to show interest too early because they're holding the cards in their hands, right? Like, they're not holding the cards in their hands anymore. And that's just bullshit. Because if you're strong enough, you're powerful enough guy, you're socially enough guy, you're going to view her as an equal and just give her a chance to prove herself, right? And And so when you're thinking like that, it's going to be a different type of interaction. You're going to feel a different kind of energy from you.
Yeah.
Secondly, when you compliment, you want to make sure that it's both authentic and that it's hitting in a useful, calibrated level of interest, right? And then you also want to make sure that after the compliment, you carry on with other types of emotional spikes to keep that interaction going. If you want to learn how to do that stuff, we got a whole bunch of other videos on this channel. There's over 300 on PickupDaily. There's over 100 on Social Q. The links are here and here. And if you like what we're doing here, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to get notified every time we release a new video, which is every damn day. And until tomorrow.